People like to get really technical when they want to hate. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So sometimes age-old arguments, they start long before we even get the products in our hands. And this is another case for the iPhone XR. Now, I said in another video that I feel like the iPhone XR is probably going to be the best purchase of them all. With that being said though, I already have an iPhone X, and the iPhone X Max is one that I considered picking up. I mean, that wouldn't be like a phone I would use primarily. I'll probably just grab it and pass it on to my wife or someone else, or just hold it and just use it for reviews. Because the iPhone XR, I think it's a great size, and that's just my personal opinion. I think it's a great size, and it'll be a more well-rounded, all-around device in a lot of ways. So, with that being said, the iPhone XR is catching a lot of scrutiny, and people are saying they're disappointed with the Apple giving it a low resolution display, pretty much a 720p display, and that it's time for us to move forward in 2019. Well, I wanted to make this video because I really don't understand that argument coming from everyone out there, especially iPhone users, because currently iPhone X can't render video over 1080p. So I mean, it's not even a Quad HD display. And the great part about that is the iPhones that are not the iPhone X, they all can render. The ones that have the 720p, like the 6S, the 7, the 8, the small, all those can upscale to 1080p and even render 1080p at 60 frames per second in the upscale. So I don't understand that argument. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna grab my iPhone X, grab an old iPhone 6S and put them side by side and select what the highest they can render. And like, I already knew it would be that way, but neither one of them can render more than 1080p at 60 FPS. And I see a lot of people saying that the iPhone X is just not a good buy, and I respect that. However, I said in the other video, it's the smarter purchase. The only thing that the iPhone X doesn't have, pretty much, and some people are talking about the bands and all this, people like to get really technical when they want to hate. I shouldn't say it, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody on their opinion, but I think that's just flat out hating, because everyone loved the iPhone 8, everyone loved the iPhone 7, everyone loved the iPhone 6S, the 6, everyone loved these phones, and people still use them to today. As a matter of fact, the iPhone SE, people clown that phone for being a small screen, but that is one of the best iPhones ever. I saw Grant S, he's another YouTuber, he posted the most beautiful shot the other day with an iPhone SE on Twitter and his Instagram, I believe too. It was amazing. That I could take my iPhone 6S, which I will do it, and put it up against a camera that I think is fantastic, Galaxy Note, and also the LG G7. Now obviously it's probably not going to be better than the G7, and it probably won't be better than the Note. However, look at you'll see the quality, and I think I'll do that in another video. But my point is, the iPhone XR just has 3 gigs of RAM opposed to 4 gigs of RAM on the other phones, and it has a lower resolution. And then the other one that people are digging up now is the LTE bands. Well, I posted all the LTE bands directly from Apple's website, and it's not lacking in any kind of way. And so people brought up the radios in the phones. I really feel like that's just reaching, and it's a lot of hate for all the wrong reasons. I don't understand Android fans when it comes to an Apple release. You see a lot of bashing from Android fans saying how Apple is doing this wrong and they're doing that wrong, and that Apple's robbing customers. Well, whatever the case may be, we're all getting robbed, because if we're paying more than $300 to $400 for a phone, we're all getting robbed. So Samsung Note 9 owners who keep saying that Apple sheep and all these other people, and just Android users period, keep saying that Apple they're getting over everybody. You guys are getting got to, because you're paying a lot of money for these phones and you're not even using them to the potential that you could be using them to. Most of you guys just want a big screen. And so that will be the reason that a lot of people will purchase the XS Max. It's just for the screen. So if that's the case, just say that. But the argument about the screen being weak and all that is invalid to me, because your phone that you're going to purchase, the Max 10, can't even render more than 1080p at 60 FPS. The iPhone X can't render more than 60 FPS at 1080p. So I don't understand that argument, and I probably won't understand it. I think people just want to find a reason to gripe and complain about nothing. The XR, I stand firm on what I say. I think that's and if you look around now, you'll see a lot of your favorite YouTubers, and I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about like MKBHD and Board at Work and all these other people. They're all coming to reality. It's like, you know what? This is the better purchase. I mean, we're getting all the same internals pretty much. And there's another debate about whether or not a person should just buy the iPhone 10, the iPhone 10 or the iPhone 8 Plus over the 10R. Still, I wouldn't recommend it because, for one, the 10 is discontinued, and the 8 Plus is a huge phone compared to the 10R. And again, neither one of them can render more than 1080p. Because people griped about the resolution, but I think Apple has done a great job with what they're working with. This video isn't to like defend Apple because I'm actually a pro Android user, but I have to keep an iPhone around because family all are on iPhones. But the thing is, I think it's a silly argument, and I take a neutral stance on this because, again, you know, I'm a pro Android user, and iPhones are just not at the top of my list. But I still think fair is fair, and I think it's crazy that people are really getting after this 10R, and I think it's more along the lines of, you know, accepting reality. Everybody brings up Apple's business practices or their marketing, you know, is the best. I think I've said it before, Apple has the best customer service of all these companies because that's why I purchase Apple Care on everything. You can tell me that I'm getting robbed or whatever, you can tell me I'm wasting money, but when's the last time I walked into an LG, HTC, or Samsung store or a Motorola store and got my phone swapped out within a matter of seconds with no questions asked? Never. Absolutely never. So kill that right there. I think that the 10R is going to be, people started to compare it to the iPhone C or 5C or whatever. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. So they're just trying to find ways and mimic about the colors. But my point is, I think the iPhone 10R, and Apple is smart in their marketing. I'm not defending Apple at all. I think Apple did it. They did what they're going to do. They're going to get you to buy the more expensive phone. And all of you folks that feel like the 10R is a bad purchase, that went out and ran and got the 10S or the 10S Max, you're getting the same phone. Check the performance on. If performance is important to you, you're not getting that much better performance. I posted the benchmarks online for both phones, the 10S Max and the 10R. It's about 500 difference or 700 difference in performance. It's not much difference because they have the same thing. You know, the only reason to buy the 10S Max is because you want a bigger screen. Now, if you already have a 10, I don't recommend that you upgrade to the 10S. That's just not a smart move, man. You may be getting the latest internals and everything, but you're getting the same phone. Well, it's your man Jay Will. Quick discussion video, man. I just wanted to put it out there and see what you guys thought about it, man. I think it's crazy that the 10R is getting such bad press. But he peep this right here. Check this out. Anytime you hear a ton of people, and this is just for the person who likes to think for themselves. Anytime you see a ton of people saying something is bad right away at launch, that doesn't make them right. You need to investigate on your own. Got it? It's your man Jay Will. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.